Hi guys, this is Wireheadking, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to rig and animate a gun in Blender 2.59. So just a quick disclaimer, I didn't make this gun that you're looking at now. I'm currently working on a gun, and that's what gave me the idea to create this tutorial. But I just downloaded this from BlendSwap, so that's just so that you know. So let's get straight into the tutorial then. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is just sort of prepare the scene. So by that I mean, get all your cameras and lamps and then move them by pressing M and then put them into the next layer. And then you can easily just bring them back because down here you've got next layer. In fact, let's just enable the next layer as well. Just by shift and left click on that just to give the gun a bit more light. Remove the camera to layer 3 because that's sort of getting in the way of all this. Alright then, so let's get into actually rigging. So the first thing that we're going to want to do, although I find it, some people do it in different orders, but I like to, when it comes with guns or other things that don't really need too many vertex groups, I like to pre-make the vertex group. So let's add 3 vertex groups. Group number 1 is going to be, in fact, let's do it in this sort of order. So control, then trigger, and then what should we call this? Pullback. I don't really know the technical terms with guns and stuff. I don't really, care much about that sort of stuff either. So I'm just gonna call it pullback. Okay, so we've now got our 3 vertex groups. Now to actually make them do something. So with the pullback, we go into edit mode and select just a vertice just up here, or vertex even, because vertices are plural. Press Ctrl L, and hopefully if you've got a good gun model, it should give you all of this top bits that's all connected. However, these bits are not, so select one, Ctrl L. And if you're not quite sure what this Ctrl L thing does, it basically, sorry about that. It just, when you press Ctrl L, it will see what vertices you have selected, and then it will find every single one that's connected to that, and then select them. You might need to do some little adjustments later on, but generally that is exactly what I wanted, and we can move on to the next step. So, with the pullback, just click or press assign, and now if we were to go into object mode and press Control Tab, we go into weight paint, and hopefully this will be completely red, and that's what we want. Next thing is the trigger. So if we go into edit mode and just select one vertex on the trigger, so no, one vertex, and then press Control L. Now then, it's just using the same method basically, and then hit another on this little bit here. Press assign, come out of edit mode. Yep, that's nice and red. And for the pullback, oh, we've already done that. So for the control, we're just going to select everything. Well, actually, no, we're not actually going to have a vertex group for the control. We're going to parent. In fact, no, we do need one. Sorry about that. We're going to do both of those things. Alright then, so now we should have, if we select each individual vertex group, we should have all the needed items or needed parts of the gun selected. So, if we go back into object mode, we can now start adding the armatures. Let's just save this somewhere else. In fact, yeah, let's call this tutorial rig. Or probably rig tutorial would have made more sense. But okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, adding the bone. So we're going to press Shift A, go to armature and choose single bone. And the first thing that I'm going to want to make is, sorry about this, the let's start with the pullback, because I like this bone. Alright, so we can't actually see where our bone is, so let's just tick X-ray, and now we can see exactly where it is, even though it's inside the gun. And I usually prefer using B-bone, although at the end of this tutorial, or during this tutorial, you might find me going to stick every so often. Okay, so with the B-bone, just press R90, and it will now be, in fact no, R minus, right, let's just undo that. R minus 90, and then choose B-bone. And that just keeps things, it's all pointing that way, it's not going to be any weird bits. It'll make sense later when you see how it's all going to be connected. Um, but yeah, so just bring this over there, and then, oh, hang on, let's just get that right. So just going to the end, and then we just want it to go all along here, basically. Not too, it doesn't require too many brains to figure out that. So now we're going to press Control Alt S just to make it a bit thinner, and that just makes it a bit easier for us to see things. We're now going to add another bone, and with this one we're just going to grab the top vertex and bring it down to the bottom of the trigger. Select the whole thing and press Ctrl Alt S again, and we can make things a lot thinner as well. There we go. And now for the control, add one more bone. Just going to bring it down to the bottom here, and yep. In fact, no, let's bring it to this sort of area here, because if you think about it, when the gun rotates for recoil, this is sort of where the pivot point is going to be, roughly. I'm assuming anyway. Yeah, it's going to be roughly around this part. So we're going to put it there. Alright then. Come out of edit mode, and yep, now it's a very simple process of naming the bones. So go into pose mode. I'm going to want to name them exactly the same. It is caps lock sensitive as far as I'm aware. So yeah, this is going to be called pullback. That's this bone up here. This is going to be called trigger, and this is going to be called control. I think that's the American way of spelling it, because I think in English it's got an extra E at the end, but I don't know, I just spell it like that because I'm used to seeing it like that. So, that was a bit random, but okay. Now, select the gun, and then hold shift, and, in fact, let's try that again. Go into object mode, so left click on the gun, then hold shift and left click on the rig, then press control. In fact, actually, let's just name the rig, sorry about this, name it, because we're using a Glock 97, we're going to call it Glock rig. Or in fact, let's have a little dot in there. Okay, so now we're going to do that again. So, select the gun with left click, and press shift and left click on the rig. Press Control P with empty groups. And now, if we go into the gun, you should see all our groups are still here. And now if we go into pose mode with the rig, control should be moving everything. Things are looking a bit strange still. Oh yeah, we need to parent things up. So select this bone, and then in this order as well. Well, actually, make sure that the control bone is selected last, basically. So that bone, and that bone. Press Control P, keep offset. So now these have been parented. So now if we move this around, the whole gun should be moving. Let's see if when we move the trigger. Yep, trigger's working fine. Yep, and this thing at the top. Alright then. Yep, that's looking fine. However, we can, if we want, really make this look stupid. So we could rotate the trigger way too far, bring this, off the gun entirely. Things like that shouldn't really be happening. And when you get to rigging, to sort of professional extent for then animators to animate, it's usually best to have as much constraints to make it easier and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to do. So for the pullback, for example, we can pull this back as far as we like. However, to keep things realistic to the gun, as far as I'm aware, it can only go back so that this part here, where this gap starts from left to right, ends at where that little box is inside. And what that allows is for the bullet to just jump out the gun. I think the bone's getting in the way there, so we just hide that. You can see where the bullet actually is. And that's another reason why I really like this model. It's actually got a little bullet just placed in there. That's quite funny. Alright, press Alt H to unhide things. So yeah, that's the furthest back it can go. So let's just look on the bone. You can see we've got the location. Y is -1.2. So let's add a constraint. You can either go to this little bit up here and then add one, or you can press Shift Control C and then you get a little list here. So we're going to choose limit location, and then this is the X, this is the Y, and this is the Z column. So the furthest back we're going to allow it is minus 1.2, because usually guns are very precise with measurements, and I trust the measurements more than my random drag and drop. So the Y, in fact, we can actually pull it back just a bit further. So call it minus 2.2. That should work. So minimum in the Y will be minus 2.2. No, sorry, minus 1.22. And that's now like that. So the bonus for some reason. Oh yeah, that's right. Change this from world space to local space. So then it's not basing it on the origin of the world. So basically, you know, if it was on world space, we could bring this way back. But if it's local space, then it's just sort of relying on the maths involving the origin of the local space, if that makes sense. So now if you press Alt G, you know, that's fine. So also, if you want to be very funny, you can tick all these boxes, and then sorry about that. And then you know, you can't. You can't go wrong basically, unless you're stupid. In fact, you have to literally destroy the settings in order to mess it up. Alright then, so that's fine. The control, that really needs no constraints whatsoever. But the trigger, we don't want it to be rotating too far back to the point where the mesh starts looking a bit funny, where there's a little gap. So let's go right to the point before there's a gap. So about there. And the rotation on that is... oh, it seems to be on the x-axis. So let's add a constraint, limit rotation, limit x to 0.3 on the maximum, yeah, so 0.3, and then, oh yeah, local space again, and so hopefully, oh hang on, that's looking a bit strange, right, seems we can't actually pull that back. Alright, different idea, how about we get rid of that, and then we're going to make another bone, and just going to scale it down like that. Press Control Alt S to make it smaller as well, and just bring it to the bottom of the trigger bone like that. And then we're going to have this selected, then Shift right click on this, and then press Shift I to activate bone. And oh, hang on, I think, yeah, made a little mistake with that. Oh no, actually it's fine. We're going to change the chain length to 1, because otherwise, if it's at 0, then that means that all these bones have got some sort of IK constraint with this little bone down here, and we don't want that. So, you know, if we just change it to 1, then that means that only this, if I were to change it to 2, then this control bone would also be affected, but, you know, it's like, how many bones distance will it go? And, yeah. So now when we move this around, the trigger will move. So yeah, that's just a quick substitute rather than fiddling around with all these rotations and stuff. So yeah, now we're going to have to limit the location of this. So let's add constraint, limit location, and see just how far it goes until that little gap appears. It looks about there. Ooh, just a bit. Oh no, that's fine. Okay, right there. Hang on, there. Okay, so what's the, in fact, if you just pull that out a bit more, okay, that's fine. So the location of this is Z minus 1 point, minus 0.19, that's a bit surprising. But, you know, so X, Y, Z, the minimum is going to be minus point, what was it, 19. Oh yeah, I'm getting these values from up here, by the way, in case you get confused. Set this to local space again, and now shouldn't be able to go anywhere beyond that. And now I'm going to press Alt G. Oh, hang on, let's change it again. Local space, Alt G. And now also you might just want to do that thing that we did last time, just to make sure that nothing will go wrong. So that should be it for the rigging, I think. Ooh, hang on. Yeah, we're just gonna need to parent this bone here, this IK bone, to the control, keep offset, and now the whole gun moves smoothly and can be animated like so and like that. And another fun thing about all these constraints is usually you have to press something like G, X to make sure that this goes in a straight line, but now you can press G and you don't have to worry, because I'm moving the mouse up and down here, and only the left and right, so left and right bits are actually making a difference. Okay, so it's all very well and good that we got this nice little bone structure, but for animators it can be quite annoying to zoom in, select that, and then start dragging it around and being really fiddly with all these tiny bones. It gets very annoying with fingers. I remember uh, I downloaded a bad rig once, and it was really annoying trying to animate the fingers and stuff. So that's where custom shapes come in, and stuff like that. So the custom shapes we're going to need is for the control. That's usually a positive. Usually most of these parent bones have one. I'm not going to bother with one for this because it's actually a nice shape for that anyway. And a trigger. Okay, so we're going to start now with that. So in the layer beneath layer 1, we're just going to create a simple shape that can be used easily with these parent bones. So set the amount of vertices to 16. That's how long have I been doing this tutorial for? 16 minutes. That should be okay. Go into top view and just delete a quarter of this shape just to save time. And there we go. Add a mirror modifier. Oops, there we go. Mirror, and on the y-axis, and tick clipping. Okay, so oops, let's just do that. What we're gonna do is just, in fact, yeah, that should be fine. Select these two vertices at the top. Press E, Y, and make sure it's precise amounts because we have to do this twice. So 2. In fact, no, that's probably too much. E, Y, 0.5. There we go. S, Y, 0. E, 0.2. Oh no. E minus 0.2, and then just bring it into the middle like that. And then again with this part, so E, X this time, this will be a minus 0.5, yeah, we did that. SX0, EX, minus 0.2, then bring that in like that. There we go, and that is this shape done. Apply the mirror modifier, because otherwise it will look quite funny later on in the rig. And now if we just bring this over here, in fact no, don't. Yeah, bring this over here. Press hold shift and then click on layer 1 again. And where's my? Oh yeah, and the light layer as well. And just select this bone here, the parent bone, and then in the bone section up here, on deform. Oh no, sorry. No, here it is. Display. Custom shape. We're going to choose circle. We should have named these actually, shouldn't we? So let's just name this control bone. Something. All right. Control bone dot shape. There we go. And I seem to have lost our control. Here it is. It's very small. So in edit mode, we're just going to make this bigger. And while we're actually, just select the bone actually, and just tick wireframe. Make it bigger, rotate it as well, just to do that, and then G, Y, and that will bring it down. And you can do this, it will update it in real time, and that's really good because that makes it a lot easier. And just fill around with stuff just to make it, just to get the shape in the right place. There we go. That's looking good. Alright, so that's that shape done. However, you might think, well, now the pivot point is not going to be up there. It is, because the bone is still, if you're going to edit mode, up there. But the shape is down here, and we did that because in edit mode, the origin of this shape is there. And that's, in Blender maths, that's the equivalent to from here to there. And it still works and stuff. When we rotate it, the gun will rotate from that pivot point, and that's very good. That's exactly what we want. Now we're going to be working on the trigger. As I say, we've got this tiny little ball, can be quite impractical if you just want to be zoomed out. Just quickly do a little thing with it all. So let's just save, and let's work on the trigger shape. And this actually took me a bit of time to figure out, because I do like to pre-plan tutorials so I don't end up stuck right in the middle of it wondering what on earth I'm having to do, or what on earth I need to do. So what we're going to do is in layer 2 again. It's quite a weird shape, to be honest, but it works. We're just going to add a plane, rotate it by 90 degrees, that'll do. And just bring it up in the place where we've got space. And all you have to do is just press Control and left click, and you can just do these simple little extrusions like that. Now, just select these two end. Oh, hang on. Select both of those and then do it. There we go. Press with these N2 selected. Press Shift S, cursor to selected. In the modify section, add modifier. Sorry, no, not yet. Object transform origin to 3D cursor. We apply? Oh yeah, we did apply the mirror modifier. Good. While we're here, actually, let's just change that to a wire shape, just to make things easier. You can do that by just selecting it, going into this little cube section up here, and then under display, ticking wire. Well, selecting wire. Even yeah. Okay. And for this, we're actually just going to tick wire, because then it stays solid, but you can see all the wireframe parts of it. Okay, so now we're going to add a mirror modifier to this, and there we go. Make it the Z-axis, or Z-axis if you pronounce it like that, and just bring, there we go, bring this in like that, and yep, that's looking okay, I think. Let's just bring back these two layers here. Shift Z to go, no, Alt Z to go into textured mode again, or texture view, whatever you want to call it. And now it's probably best to make this a wire shape completely. Okay, so now when we select this little trigger bone here, what we're going to do is again custom shape. It's going to be plain, although again we need to rename this to trigger bone shape, or dot shape. There we go. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, here it is. So again, you can edit it in real time. So hang on, just tick wireframe, because otherwise you're not going to see it very well, because well, for some certain reasons. Oh yeah, and apply the mirror modifier again. Sorry about that, because then we can see the full shape in its full shape. Okay, so rotate it by 90 degrees in the correct way, direction even, and there we go, just adjusting things. Might just want to get a nice little close up while you do this. I think the Z axis is getting that bit correct, and now I can make it bigger as well. And again, the Z axis working well for that particular part. Okay, now I think that that will work out well. If you just pull back on this, then that seems to be doing the job very well. Well, not very well, but it's getting it done, and that's fine. That's what we wanted. Okay, so now that we've got that, you might just want to select the trigger bone, press M, and then move it to a different bone layer because there's no like scene layers and then there's bone layers, and yeah, that's fine. And for this, as I said, we can just leave that the same. And if you want to be really fancy, just change. Well, not fancy, but, you know, if you want to, if you prefer, you can change that to stick. And so yeah, now we've got a complete um, gun rig done. Probably gonna have to separate this into two tutorials. This one's been the rigging. Yep, I'm gonna. Next one's going to be the animating. So thanks for watching. Check out part 2. This where we're going to be animating it and saving it in a pose library. Also going to be adding some muzzle flash. That's always fun. And yeah, so comment, rate, subscribe. Visit my website. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my channel. All that stuff I said you could do is in the description. So thanks for watching and goodbye.